absolute beast. So not gonna lie, taking him fourth overall may be a bit overkill. But this guy is insane. He only had one catch in preseason, but he is an absolute weapon. And what he's going to do this season is going to be really good. He'll definitely make himself a case for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Probably not win it just because there's so much bias towards QB in that category, but he will carry the Falcons. They may not win a lot of games, but he surely will get at least 800 yards and quite a few touchdowns and highlights. That much I can tell. Next up, the Titans offense will be a real force this year. Adding Julio Jones to an already star-studded team is just a cherry on top. This team was good last year. Ryan Tannehill, great comeback story, and what an offense this is. I'll say it once, I'll say it 100 times. This is one of the greatest offenses in the league. Maybe not the best, but Derrick Henry, 2,000 yards rushing. Let me say that again, 2,000 yards. Pairing him with one of the greatest wide receivers of all time in Julio Jones, plus one of the best, that undoubtedly one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. Well, this is going to be entertaining, and with their defense as well. This team is going to make it to the playoffs and make it far, with no doubt in my mind. I can't wait to watch this team play. This kid just keeps getting better. Josh Allen is such a great quarterback. And with Sean McDermott behind him, Sean McDermott is for me one of the best coaches in the league, just because of his play style on offense. I like how he incorporates trick plays into his offense and uses the real weapon Josh Allen is. When Josh Allen came into the league, he was known for being a kid with a big arm, but he's grown into more than that. He's grown into an overall offensive weapon, kind of like a Taysom Hill. And this is going to play for him this season. Not only was he one of the, I think, the only quarterback last season, except for Taysom Hill maybe, who got, and Dak Prescott. Well, one of the only quarterbacks last season to have a receiving, rushing, and a throwing touchdown. And this is insane. This guy with so many weapons, he's not only an MVP candidate, but for me, MVP winner. Mahomes may have not the best season. Well, obviously a great season for normal standards. For Mahomes standards, maybe not the same as usual, but I wouldn't doubt that he doesn't have that MVP season this year. Pittsburgh was insane last season, surprising everybody with that great 13-0 run, but looking like a really great 16-0 candidate for the last season where 16-0 will ever have been possible. And this season, 17-0 may not be out of the question. Last season, they were fighters, and fighters is what really matters in sports. You fight, and you carry on. And that's what this team is. TJ Watt, really insane. And with them just adding to stuff like their run game, obviously having lost James Conner, not the best thing. But them drafting young, especially in the running back department, will really carry them, which is why I think they'll make the playoffs for sure again. NFC North, winning the NFC North, not out of the question. I would say they're definitely winning that. Even though they're gonna have to fight for it with the Browns and the Ravens, the win is definitely in the bag. And that's what I see in this team. may call me slightly biased on this one because I am a Cowboys fan, but this team is good, and you can't lie about that. I would say if Dak Prescott had continued the form he was on in the first 5 weeks of the season last year, not only would the Cowboys have been pretty good, but he would have been Offensive Player of the Year candidate. He was in great form, leading the NFL in pass yards by the time before he was injured. And you may say Jameis Winston threw for 5,400 yards in the season, and he still sucked. But this is different. Dak Prescott is a weapon. And with them having Zeke, Tony Pollard, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb on that offense as well as Zach Martin, one of the best guards in the league, this offense is insane, and I'm definitely getting on that CeeDee Lamb hype train. CeeDee Lamb, that catch against the Vikings last season was insane. This guy has speed. This guy has every single weapon in the books. And getting to him at pick number 15 was an absolute steal. This guy is a weapon, and he will just continue showing that. He's the next Dez Bryant. Well, he will be better than Dez Bryant. He is going to be one of the best wide receivers in the league. Mark my words. The Ravens will bounce back. Lamar Jackson, for me, is more the QB who won't really get his Super Bowl anytime soon. But that isn't a problem because they could make the playoffs. I say could, but I think they're definitely a candidate. They're a good team, but they have to battle the Pittsburgh Steelers twice a season. And that's a battle I don't think is something they're going to win. With that defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers won a lot of games last season with just their defense. With the Pittsburgh Steelers offense improving as well, I don't think that's going to change. The Ravens also going to battle a very strong Cleveland Browns team. And I think that the Ravens, they're just not made out to win it. You've seen it in the playoffs, they're just crumbling. And they'll bounce back, definitely. I think they'll make a wild card spot. Maybe even have a bit of a playoff run, but nothing more. But they will bounce back. You may say on this one, nobody really expects the Rams to be big this season. But I think a lot of people do. And they won't be. There's a reason why Matt Stafford is not a successful quarterback. He obviously had the stats, and I've said this multiple times, but there's a reason Detroit didn't have success with him. He's just not the quarterback who carries a team, and you may say he'll just be a system quarterback with Sean McVay, but no. Sean McVay, he'll play good, and he'll get okay stats, but he won't carry this team to anywhere, especially playing the toughest division in football. That's going to be hard, and I don't think he'll have success with it. You may think, Big Ben Sports, you're out of your mind. There's no way the Jaguars could go worst to first. But you see, the same organization has done the exact thing before. Remember when they drafted Leonard Fournette, and they went from terrible to making the playoffs and making into an NFC championship. Yeah. Obviously, I mean AFC championship, but yeah, you get the point. Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent, and you're probably sick of this being said, but he is. And he is going to carry them to the promised land sooner rather than later. And they have a team that may have showed last season that they are capable of doing exactly nothing. But this team, they were being led by Gardner Minshew. And Gardner Minshew I think he's a really underrated quarterback, but he is not a franchise QB. And that's what changes him from Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is the kind of QB that can carry you. You saw what Clemson did without him. And that's why the Jaguars will be seriously underrated this season and seriously a worst candidate. Detroit Lions will be absolutely terrible this season. There, I said it. The Detroit Lions will be terrible. It's obvious after trading Matthew Stafford, which I think is about damn time. He had good stats, as I said before in this video, but he isn't the QB who's going to carry them. And they're going to need to take a few years to build this team. I think the trade was pretty good for them. Getting all those picks was good. Trading away Matthew Stafford was good. But what they got for QB, not so good. You know, this team is actually kind of good, but losing out on Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay, it's not that good. And this team will be bad. You can say it for now. You can say it now. This is going to be a terrible team. And that's obvious. Maybe not as bad as that 1-0-16 Lions team, if you know it. There's this really funny clip of the Lions QB running out of bounds, not even noticing it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Really funny. Maybe what happens this season. You know what? I'm happy saying it, but the Washington football team has an insane defense. And that's not going to change. What a defense they have built, led by a really proven coach in the NFL, Ron Rivera. This team is so good, and it makes me really depressed. But Chase Young, definitely a candidate for a defensive player of the year. You saw what he did last season, and this is going to be insanity. And I'm kind of not looking forward to the Cowboys playing against the Washington football team. If you haven't yet subscribed to the Big Ben Sports channel, it helps out more than you know. Leave a like down below. And if you're excited for the football season, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching.